Hey, here we are, another Friday session. Today's session is inspired by the mathematical and the mystical spiral. The shape of a spiral is said to have a few different components, primarily one, the origin or the starting point or the center, also known as the nucleus. Two, a tail. And that's the part that winds away from the center, winds away and expands ever outward from the origin. So, in these movements today, I'm hoping that we can feel in our bodies a center point, an origin, a starting point, and then that expansion, growing, spiraling outward tail of energy that results from the movements. So, spirals are also thought to be infinite, meaning there's no finite ending point to the spiral. And so, my hope for a third thing that we can experience together today is that feeling that there is no ending point to how you can expand your energy through movement. Let's give it a try. These will be very simple, very gentle. My hope is that we can incorporate some of that mental work and steer our minds around the spiral as we go. Let's begin. We'll start all the way down with the feet. And I'm going to extend one leg out in front of me. You can hold on to the back of the knee if you like, or if you have a broader seat, you can sit back in your seat so more of your leg is supported. And we're just going to circle or spiral. I'll lift up a little bit here to show you the ankle. So I'm moving the foot in a circular pattern. And as I do, I can feel that pivot point, the center point from which I am sending the energy out and moving around. The origin is right at the center of my ankle. And then change direction. And I feel as though I can stretch the sole of my foot and broaden through the base of the toes so that that energy keeps expanding outward as I spiral. Let's switch feet. Go ahead and let that leg rest and bring the other leg up. Same thing, start with a circle of the ankle and nothing else moves here. So the leg is steady. And it's okay if the knee is bent. But we're mentally focused and physically focused on spiraling from the ankle out through the sole of the foot. And that energy that starts at the ankle, you can feel it stretch out across the sole of the foot, out into the toes. Circle the other direction. Simple warm up. We'll let that go. 2 feet back down on the ground. Always take time to pause and notice in between each of these exercises. Next, we're going to do a little spiral with the lower portion of the leg. So this time I will hold behind my knee so that my shin and my foot are just dangling down. And then I'm going to start to move in a circular motion from my knee all the way down my shin. And it's not a perfect circle. It's not a perfect spiral. Just allowing it to move, kind of like stirring a big pot, just with the bottom half of my leg from the knee down. So now our origin point is at the knee, and the tail is swirling outward from there. And we can change direction. And sometimes it's nice to start these spirals kind of small, kind of tight, and then feel them grow and expand outward. And feel the tissues become a little more compliant, feel that capacity around the joint grow. Good. And switch sides. Other leg up, hold behind the knee on the thigh there so that the bottom of half of the leg is free and loose. And then just loosely start to spiral from the knee down, from the origin point down, down and outward. And then change direction. And just as we have experienced, if you've done some of the body tapping with me here or some of the vibrational work, this spiral work works in much the same way, where when we start to repeat, and then once we let it go, if you pause to notice, that energy is still circulating, it's still spiraling through the body. A pretty cool sensation. All right, working our way up. We're going to do some nice soft sways through the torso. So twisting to the right and twisting to the left, and just letting the arms be soft and dangle. We've got a chair here, so you don't want to slap too hard, but just nice rotations. And here, our origin point is right at the base of our seat, right in the space between the two sits bones, the base of our torso, the trunk of our body. And then we're spiraling around the axis of the spine. So this spiral in your mind maybe looks a little bit different as it winds upward through the spine, upward through the base of the neck, through the skull, around the head, and ever upward, ever outward into the infinite. Turn to one side and hold that spiral. And see if you can use your hands on your chair and on your leg to twist a little bit more. Reinforce that spiraling of the body around the spine. And that mental image that you are imprinting as you link the body and the mind of the spiral that runs up through you and extends ever upward, ever outward. The breath can trace that spiraling line. As you inhale, it spirals up. As you exhale, it winds back down to its origin point. Gently release and start to sway again, a little side to side, very gently. And if you want a little more range of motion, it might help to scoot forward on the edge of your seat. So staying perfectly upright so that that spiral can continue up into the ether. We'll pick the opposite side this time to hold our twist. Hand to the chair anywhere that helps you to find a little traction. Hand to anywhere along the knee or the thigh that helps you find a little traction. Then twist. Harkening back to that idea of the spiral, as we hold it in the body, keep refreshing that idea in the mind. From that origin point, from that center that is within you, breath, the prana, the life force, the energy, the tissues of the body. They're all working in this spiral pattern. From something very finite, something very definite, winding and tailing upward and outward and expansively into something very infinite. And release. Come back to center. Take just a moment. And then just a couple spiraling motions with the shoulders. We'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So forward, up, back, and down. And you can let that ripple out into the arms so that that spiral goes now out to the sides of the body. And then release that. Let the hands rest in the lap. And just a couple circles, a couple spirals around the neck and the throat with the head. So let the head rock back into the side, around, and to the other side. You can keep your eyes open. If that makes you feel dizzy at all. And go super slowly. And then change direction, just a few circles each way. Good. And then our final spiraling movement together is what's sometimes called a Sufi grind. So you'll hold on to your knees or your thighs so that you're kind of stabilizing. And your origin point is going to be back down in your seat where we twisted from before. But now we're going to allow that twist to incorporate the whole body in a movement pattern that winds around and around the origin point. So you lean forward, wrap around, lean back, and around. And we're trying to keep the spine really elongated here. So not a lot of flexion and extension through the spine, just a nice neutral spinal line. So it's more of a lean than an arch or a push and a pull. And this swirling that we start to feel in the body mimics that shape of the spiral and whips up that infinite energy that has been condensed down to the finite in our bodies. And so we start to feel that contrast, that very real contrast of our hard and fast bodies, these earthly, tangible structures of energy, against that kind of boundless, limitless energy that we're comprised of. Maybe it starts to get released out a little bit. We feel our own potential expanding. Change direction. We'll continue those circles, nice smooth circle spiraling pattern the other way. And allow your body to just move into the sway and into the flow of it. Circling, spiraling, leaning, exploring that pattern and the nuance. Keep pivoting on the seat from the origin point, lengthening through the spine, but keep the outer body soft so that as you swirl, as you spiral, there's no limit. We feel the infinite expansion reaching outward. And then circle back to that origin point and hover there. Close your eyes and hover mentally over that origin point of your spiral. May this energy that you have whipped up continue to spiral around you today and pull you through the day with energy that is beyond what can be found condensed into form, an energy that only exists when we allow it to expand ever outward. Thank you.